Okay, so this performance right here blew my mind away. I was like, wow. To sing the way he sings, and I mean, it's like, that old saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard? Well, what if you're talented and hardworking? Then you're what? Because he's talented and he's hardworking and he kills it. And you'll see exactly what I mean. When this dude goes down on the piano, it's like, wow, what the hell am I listening to? So, check this out. This one blew my mind. There we go. And I'll just start it from the beginning.
That I would really look up to. And so I think at a young age, I really took hold of classical music. And so I started listening to Beethoven, Chopin, Bach, Mozart.
I mean, I love when you play your piano and you're on your classical Chopin vibe.
So there's an artist named Twin Shadow. His real name is George Lewis Jr. When I met George a couple years ago on social media, he kind of just became my musical mentor. Dude, remember this?
That's literally the first video from our rehearsals. So.
George not only just believed in me, but he pushed me to get my songs out there.
Remember, I was like, you ever messed around with the synthesizer? And you're like,
nope. He believed in me so much. Everything that I needed to create music, he just gave it to me, and he didn't expect anything other than just me making music. And for him to do that meant the world to me. I kind of do see you as like my hero in the sense of how much you've helped me out from telling me just to make music and be myself. I was legit at the point where I'm I want to just give up from the bottom of my heart. I just want to thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't on the right page, and it kept on pausing and pausing and pausing, and I actually meant to stop the video as a whole, but let me rewind this right here.
Thank you, man. Trying to pursue music because I didn't know where to go. I was legit at the point where I'm I want to just give up. Trying to pursue music because I didn't know where to go.
So when I first started this channel, I was telling a lot of people and reminding them of this very quote that he made. A lot of people do find themselves at a crossroad in music because it's so, it's like everything else, that's in the spotlight. It's competitive. And you'll have some of the greatest talents just give up. And if it wasn't for him, getting on this show, then, no one would have ever heard from him besides the fan base that he had. And a lot of people kept on kind of having back and forths with me by saying, oh, well, he doesn't break away from artist integrity. And I totally 100% get that and understand that. But from my point of view and from what I said, artist integrity and not necessarily what people would call, selling out is not a bad thing. And I said, for example, look at this quote that he just made. I didn't know where else to go with the music, and I was just about to give up. He was trying anything that he could to, to stick. Nothing was sticking. He goes on, American Idol and just kills it. And boom, sets his career on a path. And, I kept on telling people, selling out is such a stupid word that people use, oh yeah, they're just sellouts, this and that. Well, you know what? If I'm selling out to take care of my family instead of having them struggle, while I go play gigs at, small bars or venues while, my family's back, living, in a bad neighborhood, bad school systems, hell yeah, I'm going to sell out. Why not? I'm providing for my family. I'm providing for myself. if you're smart about the way you use your money, I never tell people how to use their money. That's their money. They earned it. They do what they want with it. All right. I don't ever talk about my money to people. People don't ever talk to me about their money. And if they do, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I have nothing to add to the conversation. So, he could speak about it with somebody else. And the way he decides to use his money, that's on him. But I do believe that, he made a lot of cool quotes saying, I don't want to, go buy fancy, expensive cars, this and that. I mean, his first video was paying homage to, the homelessness in LA and how rapid it's getting and how bad it was becoming. And how we're just so consumed on our mobile phones, just constantly looking at it, that we don't look around anymore. And there was a very emotional video that I had seen the other day where it was like, look at the kids who graduated around my time, 1998, and like everybody's like smiling, happy, talking to one another. You don't see a single hand up like this, or like this, or looking down, or headphones in. And it's like, we really are headed in that direction. If you ever seen Wall-E, where the people are so fat that they're just in those pods and they're doing everything, even though they're right next to each other, they're still communicating through, other ways. I mean, that's the direction we're headed. I mean, it's easy to see. And I'm a hypocrite because, I'm right here doing exactly the content that people are going to be watching. But that's adapting with the times. I don't believe and really know. And I've said this before, adapting and evolving, are they one and the same? Because I kind of feel they're almost one and the same. I know evolving takes, you could have hyper evolving, but you could also have adapting, which animals do. So some people will consider it, well, no, they evolved to be like this. Or no, they adapted to their surroundings, so that's where they were like this. So I think they're one and the same. Where I'm going with that is, Katy Perry had told him, basically adapt to what the music industry is doing. Don't ever be afraid to break out of your bubble. Because if you're just going to, do you constantly and not gain a crowd, your music career isn't going to go far. And those were the kind of conversations I was having with a lot of people. And I kept on telling them, it's not breaking artist integrity if he just adapts with what, is being played nowadays. And this was a good example of it because he was about to quit. And thank God he didn't, because he has a lot to offer the music industry. So right now, prepare to be odd.
From the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you. Of course. Thank you, man.
to find the broken pieces of my heart that was needed for my soul to love again.
Always a standing O from the judges.
Alejandro, you all have to listen. What America is watching. It's funny, on American Idol, we're watching a phenomenon. We're watching musical history. This guy right here is unbelievable. You all right? Vote. Vote.
Stay humble, homie.
I mean, we are not. I'm not worthy to be a judge judging you. By the way,
Right.
I mean, are you?
No,
I will. You know what? From here on out, I'm just your champion, buddy. I will champion you as much as I can.
Once again, nailed it, Alejandro. If he is your number one, send him your votes. You can take care of business on AmericanIdol.com, on the American Idol app, or by texting. Remember, we're voting to get them for that hometown celebration, and you want to see them in next week's grand finale episode. So that's it for the performances tonight.
It's amazing. Could you imagine getting such accolades from somebody like Lionel Ritchie? I mean, my dad's side of the family, my mom, that's probably one of the few. My mom never really put down my dad in front of me, you know. I knew how my dad was. But when they got a divorce, she's like, you know, one thing about your dad's side of the family is they know how to party, and they love to party. And I remember growing up with Lionel Ritchie, and to be receiving, I mean, I know in the beginning when he auditions and Lionel Ritchie gives him a hug and then he leaves, he's like been a huge fan of yours for a long time. I mean, same here. Lionel Ritchie, just pop icon. I mean, he put together We Are the World. Singers like Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper. I mean, everybody, the who is who of, you know, the 80s. Billy Idol, freaking anybody you could think of. He put that together. I don't know if Elton John was there, but I know he's good friends with Elton John. I mean, the dude has so much respect in the music industry, and for him to say the things that he tells him, unbelievable. And at the end of one of the very first audition he gave, there's two parts that Fox didn't post, but somebody posted because they recorded it live, where Lionel Ritchie first says that was like a religious experience, and then it cuts off, and you know, but there's another recording out there where he says, you know, my goodness, he's like, that was like the first time that I seen Michael Jackson. He's like, you know, Stevie, which he, you know, started doing the piano, so he meant Stevie Wonder, was just sitting there playing, and here's this kid just singing away, and he's like that, and he's pointing to where, you know, this Alejandro was at. He's like, that was just like that moment, the first time I heard Michael Jackson. I mean, could you find, like, to be compared to Michael Jackson, put personal shit aside, whether he did or didn't do it, I don't know. I wasn't there. You know, I pass no judgment unless, you know, there's an admission or, you know, something happened. But put all that shit aside, he's still the king of pop. I mean, the dude, I got to see him. I was privileged enough to see him in concert. And damn, did he put on a fucking good show. I mean, unbelievable. And still probably the greatest show I've ever went to go see live. And I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. Always. I mean, who wasn't? I mean, the dude couldn't walk anywhere. And that's what you give up, you know, for the price of fame, I guess. And that's, again, please don't get this twisted. Because, you know, just because I've mentioned, yes, that my acting career has started taking off little by little with the past 6 months getting to do 3 commercials, and now on my 3rd feature film. I mean, I'm staying humble about this. I just only give updates, like, hey, yeah, cool, I just picked up this gig. I did a stupid skit. You should watch it. You might not like it. You probably won't like it. But it has nothing to do with what my next project is. Completely like the skit that I put out was just funny just because of my huge crush on my future wife, Rachel McAdams. But no, in all seriousness, I don't want to ever become, like, I don't want to be famous. Who wouldn't mind being wealthy? Because then I know I could provide, for my family. Give them, pay off their homes. Give them the fee, the money, the funds to, do whatever they wanted to do. And, my family is a very giving family. And no, I wouldn't run out of money, right away, or be one of those fools that would, just spend it all, as quickly as possible. No, I mean, I'd be smart about it. And like I said, I don't talk about other people's money. I don't talk about my money, because this conversation we're having right here, or I'm rhetorically having, is, of course, it's fictional because I haven't won the Powerball and I'm not a millionaire. But I know that if I, like I said, I don't care about fame. I care about, if I did have those funds, how much more I could provide for, my daughter, for my mother, for my brother, my nieces, my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, my, everyone. And that is actually my dream. That is actually my goal in life, is for my family. And that's what I'm shooting for. So God willing, get there someday. But those are videos that I wanted to share of him, just to show you guys how amazingly effing talented he is. It is un-effing believable. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, leave a comment, a like, a dislike, like and subscribe. I appreciate, I'm getting, at least adding a new subscriber every day. Definitely love to see that climb up. And I'm thankful that you guys, recommended getting, an Instagram account and a Twitter. I got that. But those who told me to get it still haven't followed me. So what's going on here, people? Come on. Hook a brother up. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be back with something very interesting after this. So if you're binge watching tonight, this next one confounds me to no fucking end. So stick around.